guys, welcome to the Uncensored. Um, hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Staying warm, of course. We're gonna start off today real quick with some topic that's been in the news. Fortunately, this has been in the news a lot. They have been in the news a lot. ICE agents out in Minnesota, another American citizen, life taken, killed by an ICE agent. They showed the video of the young man um, who was shot multiple times. Video shows the young man trying to help out a female that was being pushed and shoved by ICE agent. They took him down. When they taking him down, the guy, let me go back, the guy was armed, but he had legal documentation to carry a firearm. Um, so it was all legal. But they also show in the video of one of the ICE agents disarming him before they had shot him multiple times. Now, this has been all over the news, and people have had a lot of opinions on this. But just second time now that something like this has happened. I think same month. That's crazy. Same month, same year, second time. Um, my opinion on that situation is it's pretty in control. It's starting through like every day. This is happening, and um, it's like I said, part of the plan. They're trying to make it chaos on the streets, in the streets, so they can have the full control. Like I told Greg before, that's what this is all stemming from. Um, as I was looking at that video, pretty disappointed because I don't remember them showing videos of somebody getting executed on TV. Shot the Douglas. When you see this guy being shot, it's like falling. And I don't think they got the plan. What is the privacy thing for having it? Like, this is video, and I've read it, people saying, just telling people to be aware that I did it. They're showing the video everywhere. Was got camera phones claiming videos and nowhere you can hide it. That's true, but it's the privacy. And I like to say if I could start finish off, I like to say praise to the guy the, the donors. Uh, that's great. The guy was a ICU. He was out first in the ICU, you know. Um, um, like I said, I can't really speak too much on it. I think a lot of people should basketball unless you get before and you know what happened before and after. What's the you shouldn't really speak on it because it's born off what you see. The girl, yes, and the direct it looks bad. It looks bad, it looks like he was murdered, executed, it looks bad. You know. I'm gonna say this, and I've said it before and I'm gonna do this. These protesting industries, protesting industries. I get why some people, I get why a lot of people I feel like you're making a stand and you're doing it to, you think you get you're changing something. Everybody has their opinion about protest, but it becomes a problem when it's turned violence and the protest is not really what everybody's out there doing. Some people out there create chaos, and this situation is sad. It's very sad. Um, like I said, things are getting out of control, and it's getting out of control fast. And like it's a hidden agenda. It's like somebody at the top is wanting all of this to go down for a reason, because this is twice now. Twice, two persons have lost their lives. After a while, you start to think like, why aren't they trying to stop this? Why aren't they pulling the ICE agents off the streets until they can figure out what is going on? Why aren't they pulling the ICE agent off the street to give them more training for situations like this? Why are they allowing it to continue to happen? You got to start wondering what's the hidden agenda with this. Um, like I said, I did. It's a sad situation. It's even more sad that it's happened out in Minnesota twice now. That's sorry about that. Little sneeze coming under the weather again, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of sad that this is happening. It makes you wonder why haven't anything been done? Why isn't anything being done? How far is this gonna go? Ew. Sorry, got to sneeze. But yeah, that's what a lot of people should be wondering. Why is this okay, so now you think about this. When is the next thing? When is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for something to be done? You know, it's getting out of hand now. Like, I heard that I was reading where they're saying that ICE is allowed to now come to people's houses. They don't need a warrant to check into your house to be. Um, they're going around now, um, dressing down. What I mean, dressing down as construction workers, Uber drivers. Don't know how true this is. This is allegedly said to gain people trust, to gain the trust to basically infiltrate them and to capture them. Like I said, this is allegedly what is going on. I'm not going to speak up on that. This is something I've read. Don't know how true that is. Um, it's just crazy that all of this is going down into one particular state. It makes you wonder what is the hidden agenda? What is they're trying to prove, or what are they trying to do? Why is it only into one? I mean, come on, think about it. Two killings in Minnesota twice now. You know, same month, same year, not that far apart. Both of them in their young 30s, young 30s. Hate to be the bear news. They are white. I mean, it makes you wonder what is the hidden agenda? What are they trying to prove here? You know, now I can go off of my conspiracy theory, what I think is going on here. And like I said, this channel is based off conspiracy theories, and we don't judge on this channel. So I'm gonna say a little thing here. Back to what I was saying, how they're both in their 30s, young white Americans being gunned down. It makes you wonder, are they trying to set an example? And what I mean example is, hey, we're going after illegal immigrants. We're going after any anybody that we don't think needs to be here. So therefore, if you are even trying to get in the way, doesn't matter what color or ethnic you are, we're gonna gun you down. We're gonna make an example out of the two people who just gunned down in Minnesota. Seems like me, that's what this is all coming down to, is making an example. And like I said, when you start doing that, you start thinking these are nothing but bullies with guns now. You know, like I said, I mean, and they're making a bad example. It's a bad example for other law officers that are trying to do their job. They're making it a bad example now because all this is doing is it's going to create some type of chaos. And it's only a matter of time before that switch is lit and we have a full blown civil war. Yes, I said it, civil war. But that's exactly what this seems like this is headed to push that agenda, to push for martial law, push for control, population control. And, you know, I heard, I'm going to say heard this. I was listening to a podcast yesterday when a guy said, hey, if you push for martial law, The elections is coming up soon, midterms elections. If there is something like this happen, the sitting president remains president. He cannot be impeached. He cannot be thrown in jail. He cannot be done. Nothing can be done with him when stuff like this happen when the martial law occurs. Now, if that is true, and this is the change, what this is heading to, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all if that's the change. But it's just sad that innocent people are being killed on the streets in broad daylight, camera there, people seeing it. It's all over the news outlet. At this point, you gotta wonder, like, um, yeah, nobody's safe, basically. You know. Only thing I say is, if you're out there protesting, and you're out there, and you're doing it for the right reason, and I'm gonna say this again, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, that doesn't seem fair, but do not approach none of these ICE agents. Do not agitate them. Be doing things that you know that probably end well for you. If you're out there protesting for all the right reasons, hey, do it. Me personally, I just don't see the purpose of protest. I spoke on that on my last comment. I don't see the purpose of protesting. Um, but that's a whole new story. Like I said, if you want to know more how I feel on that, it's on my last broadcast. I see purpose of that. But if you are going to do it the right way. Don't go out there agitating them because at the end of the day, I hate to say this, you will end up in a losing end. You know, um, so just it's a sad situation. To see people being murdered out on the streets on camera like that, that's sickening, and it should not be happening because it makes you think this is the United States of America, right? Free speech, all of that stuff, Second Amendment, all that stuff. But it seems like now it just doesn't matter anymore. We're becoming a third world country. It seems like where you see in third world country where civilians are being gunned down, pulled out of their house and murdered like it's nothing. It's a sad, very sad, like somewhere down the line, hopefully somebody will step in and stop all of this and this will just end soon, but who knows? You know, like I said, there's two sides to every story. I was not there, obviously, in Minnesota to see none of this happen. I wasn't firsthand. We're all going off of video. We're all going off of what the news is reporting. Uh, my point is this: the video is claiming that they, um, with one of the ICE officers, taking a firearm away from him before they had shot him multiple times. Me personally, like I said, I am not a law enforcement officer. But if his gun was taken away from him, there was really no point to shoot him multiple times after that. You already had him on the ground. He was pepper sprayed. There was no reason for that. But I'm sure something will come out of this where it's deemed as self-defense. Like I said, and I said this on the last shooting with the Renee Good, and I said it's wrong on both sides. And this is another case of it because the young man that was just out alive a few days ago. If you're going to a protest and you know how things are right now, especially in Minnesota, right after the whole Renee thing, don't go there looking to look. And I understand he was trying to save the one lady that was being pushed and shoved by ICE. I get it. Good Samaritan. Me personally, I just would not put myself in a situation like that where it could end badly because as of right now, everybody see the tension is high. So why add on to it? You know, It's just seemed like somebody, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it, it's a hidden agenda, and it's something. It's a hidden agenda being pushed right now. There's a reason for all of this. There's a reason why this is all going down. There's a reason behind it, and it's all boiling over. It's just gonna start boiling over. Like I told you before, it's gonna take that one little thing that's gonna set the fire. And it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that because now it's just like you're seeing. I said this in the other podcast of the little kid who was taken in by ICE. This was this was basically all over the news. The young kid picture all over the news, which to me was again don't understand why we have to put minors, young kids in this situation. And I get it, there was a backstory to that, but still, to put this young kid picture on the news, on social media, it's a bad look. It's a very bad look, you know. And all I'm gonna say is, people, we gotta be safe out here. You know. I also read somewhere where they're saying there are fake ICE agents dressing up as ICE agents and kidnapping people. They're covering their face also buying their fake badges online. If this is true, and which I, at this point, it would not surprise me. This is where somebody's going to have to step in because this is going to turn really ugly real quick. Because now, if that is the case, you have people that's causing problems. And what do you guys, what do you think is going to happen? You know, so I don't know. We as people got to think about this. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. And I know a lot of people not gonna agree with me, but you got to think about the people in the higher ups, our presidents, our government officials. They don't care because it's not them that it's happening to. It's not their family members that it's happening to. They don't care. They're not gonna care. And I don't care who's the sitting president. They're not going to care because it's not them that it's happening to. It does not affect them in no shape, form, or way at all. It does not affect them. So, well, I guess what I'm saying is we have to stand up for ourselves. We got to come together, unite, stand up for ourselves because that's the only way change is going to be made. If you're looking for somebody to step in and say, okay, enough is enough from a higher up, then you're going to just be waiting and learning all the time because I don't see that happen anytime soon because it's not affecting them. So that's what you guys are waiting for, people. Newsflash is not gonna happen. And yeah, maybe now looking at all of this as translating, and when the next election comes and people run to make their little votes, maybe you'll think about this. Is my vote really counting for something? Hmm. No, I, me personally, with everything that's going on, this should be a wake up call to everybody. Wake up call to everybody. Like something got to change. Because I've said this in my other podcast, it doesn't matter who the sitting president is. At the end of the day, they're not for the American people. They're not for us. They're there to be a puppet on the street. The president didn't. The United States, they answer to a higher power. They're just the face of our state. So, to say that, what I'm saying that is, yes, Donald Trump, he's a unique man. That I'm gonna say that he's very unique, and he's yeah. Me personally, I think he's too old to be president right now. But you got to think about this: why everybody's pointing the finger. He's getting his orders from somebody that's higher up. So let that sit with you. Let that sit with people. When you go and you do the little elections and votings and think that you're making a difference, this should be a wake up call. Change needs to come, and it needs to come within. That's the only way this works. And right now, people, I'm gonna say this, it's only gonna get worse. Right now you're seeing people being murdered, young adults being murdered in the streets, on camera, broad daylight. What do you think is gonna happen next? Huh? Do we have to have a video? Is the next coming is you seeing somebody being dragged out the house and executed? Is that what I mean? I mean, that's where we're headed. That's exactly where we're headed. And excuse me, that's not a good look. You know, it's time to make a change. I don't know how many times people are gonna not see that. It's time to make a change, and it needs to start with that. And it needs to the change needs to be us realizing that at the end of the day, we gotta come together. All this left, right, Democrat, Republican, fighting amongst each other for stupid reasons like that. When these people don't really give a fuck about us. Yes, I'm gonna say that they don't give a fuck. So I was sitting here trying to pick sides. You know, people are saying, "Well, you're this, you're a lefty, you're a righty." Dude, come on, man. The motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They don't care about us. They don't care. You really think that those people are higher up are sitting there crying over the people that have been murdered the last 2 days on the street? No, they don't. They don't care. So, like I said, we got to come together because at the end of the day, that's what it's all going to come down to, you know. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to take for something crazy to happen for them to push the hidden agenda that they're going to push with the martial law. And then that's when people are going to wake up. By that time, it's going to be too late because once they push that, it's basically too late. It'll be too late. So, everything, it's just like I said before, it seems like they're trying to push a civil war. That's why this is being done. This is why the news is putting this out constantly. This is constant. The news just it like brainwashing. It's all a hidden agenda. And you know, that's I've said this before. I said this in 2020 when COVID hit. How you thought that whole thing with COVID in 2020 would have brought people together and realized like, wow, we really need to stick together because these motherfuckers don't care. You know, they didn't. I spoke. I never. Well, actually, I'm gonna go a deep dive with that too, with the COVID thing, because this is gonna tie into what I'm saying. In 2020, with that COVID hit, do you guys really think these people didn't know that that virus was already in play? They probably knew year earlier, 2 years earlier. They knew it was coming. They didn't let the public know until that was at our front door, and it was already too late for us to even try to protect ourselves from it. Don't be fooled, people. Don't be fooled. That goes that the point that I'm making is once again, they're not for us. They don't care. This is enough. This is way it's been. This is what they do, you know what I'm saying? The whole 2020 with the COVID thing, they did the little lockdown. It was testing the water basically to see what buttons and how they can how they can push the buttons. They did the whole lockdown where everybody was locked down. Everybody had a curfew. Everybody had to stay in and you had to wear a mask. And a lot of people fell for it. They fell for it. They went with it. That was just pushing the buttons. And now we're fast forward, we're here. Where it's chaos on the streets, all leading up to that one big moment so they can just say, you know what? We're taking full control of everything. No more second rights amendments, no more free speech. Because eventually that's what this is going to all come down to. It's going to be complete control. No more elections, no more votes. Now, that's what they're going to do. They're going to take full control of everything. And now that people say, well, they can't do that because of our constitutional rights. Hey, newsflash.
Stuff that's going on now, years years before we thought they couldn't do. Okay, but yet here we are. Here we are. Things that's been done that if you would have told anybody 5 years ago that this is happening, people be like, well, they can't do that. No, it's like they can do whatever they want and get away with it. It's all there in our faces, guys. It's all there, right there in our face, and we really need to look at that, you know? So I don't know what's what everybody else's opinion is with all everything. Everybody has their own opinions, but I can say this one thing. No matter how many times our opinions, people opinions don't matter, or people opinions cause people have different opinions, but you could be human enough to say that murdering people in the streets like that, that's not right. That is not right. I don't care what anybody said, whatever opinion you have, that's just crazy. And if you agree with what's going on right now, just think about this. You have family members. What if that's one of your family members that was gunned down on the streets and recorded and played over the news over 1 million times, only for your presidents, your government, to say, "Oh, they were the terrorists. They it was self-defense." Doesn't seem right when the rabbit has the gun. So people need to think about that. Why they make their opinions on this these shootings, the killings that just happened. What if that was your just saying? Would you still have to pay you that thinking that this is okay? So I just want to let y'all know that that's crazy. Like for instance, that whole Renee's thing. I read somewhere where Trump, the father of Renee, was a big Trump supporter. Let that kid, he was a big Trump supporter. And you know what Trump does? He gets on TV. He says, um, his whole narrative changed. Saying that he really felt bad what happened and it shouldn't have happened, and that he hopes that Renee's father does not change his opinion on being a Trump supporter. Let that sink into y'all, people. Yeah, let that sink in. They don't care. They don't care. So while people are sitting here okay in this, thinking this is okay, hey, it could be one of your family members that's out here and something like that can happen. And also I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I said this in my other podcast. Us as Black Americans, I'm tired of hearing this one too. We need to sit this out. It's not our fight. Hey, dumbasses. And I've said this before when this whole ICE thing started with the immigrants. If they're going after the immigrants, once they're done with them, who do you think they're going after next? So yeah, we sit this out and wait till it hits our front door, and then yeah, we'll see how that play out for us. It's not about race, and I keep saying this is not about race. This is not about race. This is about uniting, no matter what color you are, you're uniting together to seeing who and what is the common enemy in this situation. So I'm just gonna put that out there. At the end of the day, I don't care how many mayors get on TV and saying that I want ISIS going out of my town. It's not affecting you personally. It's not affecting you because it's not your family member. So you can get on TV, you can say all of that stuff. I don't believe a damn word none of these people say. I think they're all in cahoots. It's a money grabbing scheme. It's like I said, don't believe everything you see on TV with these people. I've been saying that for the longest. They're all in cahoots. It's 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 basically, to me, it seems like, hey, let's make an ass out of the American citizens. These basically that's what they look at us as being, is like little people, and we'll make an ass out of them. We'll sit here, we'll do this and that, and they'll like it. They'll like it. They don't have a choice but to like it. because until somebody completely stand up and do something about all of this, you can say all you want. You can go on TV and have these little press conferences, the mayor or a government official, and say how you don't agree with it. And yeah, you can say all that. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. But are you going to do what it takes to stop it? If that means you sacrificing you from being sacrificing your job, are you going to do? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not going to do that because it's not affecting you directly. So therefore, you're not. They're not going to do anything. So it's up to us. I don't know how many times we're going to go through stuff and not realize that's what it's up to us as United States citizens, us as American citizens, us as human beings to come together. Stop this whole race war shit, this lefty, right, your politic views. Stop calling it because it's fucking crazy now. If y'all don't see the bigger picture. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I thought I'd get on here and discuss that, what was going on. And like I said, take care of each other. Um, be careful out there because this is getting really dangerous, real quick. And yeah, and like I said, if you're gonna be out there protesting, do it the right way. Do it for the right reason. Don't be out there trying to start shit to agitate shit. It's already high tensions as it is. Don't go out there looking for trouble. Let me rephrase that, not saying that the two people that were gunned down were out there looking for trouble. No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the ones that are out there causing chaos, getting paid to cause this chaos. Yes, I said it, getting paid to cause this chaos. Just be very careful. If you all are out there protesting, be very careful. And yeah, just be very careful. That's all I can say. Um, yeah. So I want you guys to leave you guys with that. Um, like I said, that was something I really want to talk about today. Like it's been heavily on the news, and it's a sad situation. I want to say also, like I said, condolence to the young man's family. You know, it's sad that they have to keep playing the video over and over. No respect for the family. That's what I'm looking at. It's very sad. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this Sunday. Stay warm. Um, I will be back on here next Saturday, for another podcast. Hopefully, there's positivity in the news by then, but I won't hold my breath. So, you guys enjoy your Sunday. And remember, every day above ground is a good day. Treat each other right. And let's make that change that needs to be changed. And that's about it. Peace out, you guys. Have a blessed Sunday.